Right now, there is a rumor on Twitter that White Rock has formally requested a meeting with the Federal Reserve to propose integrating XRP into the U.S. federal banking system. You won't believe this. Now, I thought, whoa, really? When I first saw this, that's awesome. However, it changed course when I went to confirm it. I'll demonstrate for you what occurs and whether or not this information is accurate. However, is everyone posting as like it's real? So let's talk about that. Naturally, Paul Atkins, in his first speech as SEC chairman, discussed the significance of cryptocurrencies for Americans. He will also be the one to guide us into this new era of digitization. Have Karen O'Leary discuss the North American economy's digitization as well. You must see that. I learned more about the Bank of Russia, CBDC, Velo, and XRP near the end of this article. Many more men, please hit like and subscribe if you find any value in this. Come on. How would you categorize XRPS? Without a doubt, I believe that XRPS is a network token. Correct. Ultimately, if you consider the way we discuss the differences between a network token and a firm-backed token, what do you think? I believe the three questions we examined were, is the network open? This, in my opinion, is unquestionably true for XRP. Do the network effects lead to two token wars? Again, I believe that to be true. After that, is the system's economics built into it? I also believe that to be unquestionably true. The demand for XRP fuels that ecosystem's expansion. Thus, in my opinion, it quite obviously fits the criteria of a network token. You mean a store of value, a network token, or a utility token? On it, you may tokenize anything. For the majority of banks and organizations, XRP truly checks all the boxes, whereas Bitcoin just checks one. That is the value storage. And that's fantastic for those who want to make an investment, cling to it for a while. However, since that is what will be used globally, if you truly want to make the most of what you have, you should look for the greatest technology that banks and financial organizations wish to employ. And on any given day, on any Earth 1 or Earth 10, that, my friend, will perform better than Bitcoin. XRP will outperform Bitcoin across all realities if this is a multiverse. Okay? Let's check this out. According to Kevin O'Leary, the new trend in business is to focus on digitization, the North American economy, and the continent. Yes, Kevin, you will be joining us at Consensus in Toronto from May 14th to May 16th. Give me a brief overview of the topic you plan to discuss. You have a talk titled Cryptos Next Chapter after your keynote. Yes, I get asked a lot about the North American economy's digitization. That's what I'm bringing to the table. There has been a significant shift in the way commerce is conducted, including the emergence of cryptocurrency. The main question, however, is why the S&P 500 margins are greater than they were before the pandemic. Why have margins increased from 15 to 17.5% in private enterprises in North America, Canada, and the United States? What took place? When you expected the pandemic to have destroyed a large number of these businesses, what happened to the economy? I will thus go over a number of case studies of businesses, some of which are in my own portfolio. These aren't scholarly investigations, these are actual businesses who, over the course of this incredible 4-year span, managed to transition from to a tiny, 500-employee corporation, and we've moved to a new location. Additionally, the global direct consumer market is worth several trillions of dollars. A variety of tactics have been developed, and several digital payment systems will play a significant role in this. Therefore, I want my keynote to include all of that. Since we're at such an exciting period for investing in company, I've been working particularly hard on this one, and that, in my opinion, is a smart strategy for the conference, and I'm excited about it. This one has always been my favorite. This bunch of people is really innovative. It's always a fantastic occasion. After the C word, how did businesses manage to survive? Oh yes, we did print about $7 trillion, 0 cents. Isn't that how everyone got by? In 2021, getting a loan back wasn't difficult for businesses. You simply applied and you were granted it. It goes without saying that you have to spend that money to support your firm, but that's how many of these companies survived. I don't think many of them would have survived without that money. In terms of effectiveness, cost savings, transparency, and risk reduction, I anticipate significant advantages from this market innovation. This is one of Mr. Paul Atkins' earliest speeches. He's done a few, but this is among the first that caught my attention. After you listen to what he has to say here, let me know what you think. In terms of effectiveness, cost savings, transparency, and risk reduction, I anticipate significant advantages from this market innovation. Clear regulations should be in place for market participants using this technology. Unfortunately, for the past few years, innovation has been suppressed because of the regulatory and market ambiguity that the SEC has regrettably encouraged. Therefore, I'm excited to interact with market players and collaborate with congressional colleagues in President Trump's administration to create a framework for cryptocurrency assets that makes sense for its intended use. The difficulties that SEC registrants encounter in trying to securely hold cryptocurrency assets for their clients, in accordance with federal securities regulations, are the main topic of today's roundtable. For instance, are modifications required to the Exchange Act, Advisors Act, or Investment Company Act's custody regulations in order to account for blockchain technology and cryptocurrency assets? Do market participants find the so-called regime of special-purpose broker-dealers feasible, or is a new framework for crypto asset broker-dealers required? The market appears to be telling us that the current structure is in dire need of improvement. Therefore, you can all help us with that by providing guidance, particularly on the panels. He sounds like he understands what he's talking about up here, Paul. He seems really upbeat and willing to work with us to make this work. I'm eager to see where he takes all of this, and I genuinely hope that he will be remembered as the one important regulator that made cryptocurrency conceivable in the U.S., out of many like Carolyn Pham at the CFTC. I sincerely hope so. All right, let's get on to the drama, shall we? Because without some drama, it wouldn't be a Friday, and it's right here. This is the post that is widely shared today. I'll read it to you now. White Rock formally asked for a meeting today. I won't read it. You know that. This letter should be read. All right, White Rock then? What must I see? Do you know? Hold on. Is that their logo before I do this? I know I should have looked at this first, but I was just curious if someone had messed up something so basic. Wait while I check. If there is, it will be on their website. There, I see the W. I'm left wondering. All right, let me return to this. Here it is. Thus it reads, Federal Reserve System, Board of Governors, 20th Street and Constitution Avenue. Integration of the XRP ledger into the Federal Reserve banking system is being proposed by RE. On behalf of White Rock, I would like to invite the Board of Governors and members to a meeting to talk about incorporating XRP ledger technology into the federal banking system. This offers a chance to increase productivity and safety in the banking sector.